All right, I think we're good to go. I'm back finally after a long time. We've got a pretty big glare going down right now, but I think other than that, we should be good. I haven't made a Magic the Gathering video in a while. I also haven't made a Gishath Sun's Avatar video in a while. I think it's been about a year. I have been wanting to do it for a while, and I'm really excited that I have made some time to do it. I have been really busy, so yeah, I haven't posted in a while because of that, but I'm excited. Right, I have been working on this relentlessly and trying to make it as best as possible, so here we are. I am excited. We do have my hands look super white on camera, but I think it should be okay. Gishath has gotten much better in my opinion. So, should be good to go. We got a couple of tokens. Oh yeah, you can see that really nice. We got a Jurassic, oh no, we got the Monarch. We got the Dinosaur Beast token. And the Jurassic Park treasure token. Yeah, you can see that really nice. That is super cool. All right. We do have a single card in, what do you call it? Sideboard. And that is a Carpet of Flowers. I've never had to use it yet, but I don't play against very many blue players. But I think if having this in the sideboard for Gishath is really good, you can take it out for Birds of Paradise or anything like that. If you are tuning in for the first time here, I would recommend looking at my other Gishath deck videos. It kind of keeps you up to date. They are terrible. Excuse me. They are terrible compared to what Gishath is now. This is not a budget deck at this point. It's been worked on for years and years. Over time, just trading in cards, collecting cards. I definitely did not just buy all these right off the rip. This was my first ever commander deck. It's now my best commander deck. Just taking a long time upgrading it, but it's definitely gotten to the point where it is substantially good, very good synergy and everything. So let's dive right in. Put that sideboard. So we are building a Gishath. I have built a Gishath Sun's Avatar deck. Can't really see the words. That's okay though. I love Gishath. Every time I play against anybody with this deck, and this is the people I normally play with, they of course want to try to kill him and everything, because he's, you let him go even one turn in this deck, he can end up winning. There's a lot that goes into a Gishath deck, making it as good as it possibly can. The whole point of this deck is making it as good and as fast and as reliable as possible. And that's kind of what I have tried to make this deck become. We're not going to go in any order. This is just the deck right out of the box, shuffled and everything. I did get a new cool deck box for him. This was a while ago, but the only recent thing I've gotten for him were fetch lands, because fetch lands are good. They are really good. The biggest problem that I encountered building this deck is protection, keeping him alive. It's almost impossible not being a threat with Gishath, even playing Gishath at all. Everyone is going to try to kill him if they know what he does and know what he is. So yeah, there is some upgrades in here. It has changed a lot compared to my other decks, and I'll explain some things as we go, but I do only have 6 basic lands in here. They're all Bob Ross lands, and there are 2 of each color. This is a green, red, white deck, so there are 2 mountains, 2 forests, and 2 plains. We have a beautiful basic land there. I run 32 lands in here, and that seems low, but I mean, I've played this for a while. I've play tested it quite a few times. The way this deck's been running, just because of how many powerful cards are in here, it's good. It seems to be doing really good for me. I think there's definitely some altercation and changes that need to be done to it, but I mean, I can't think of what to do or what to change it, so we'll get into that a little later. Let's get right through this, though. We got our first card here, Sylvan Library. Again, I don't think you're going to be able to read the card, but just showing the art in the card is cool. 1 colorless, 1 green. At the beginning of your draw step, you may draw 2 additional cards. For each of those cards that you draw on, the extra cards, the 2 extra, you may pay for life. If you don't, you put them on top of your library in the order you want. This card's just, it's so good. 4 life is a lot, and you got to be careful using this card. Because yes, you can start dealing a little bit too much damage to you, and then all of a sudden that backstabs you, and you die before you can even do anything. But really nice cycle, really nice draw. I've also realized in Gishath, deck thinning is a really important factor. Cycling is an extremely important factor. Draw can be important, but you need to be careful in how much you draw, which there are going to be some cards we're going to get into that help you with that. Just a normal Bob Ross Mountain. 3 Tree City. I mean, this is an obvious include. Pay 2. I mean, it enters, you're going to pick dinosaur, add 1 for each. Add 1 of 1 color for each creature you chose, which is dinosaur. So however many dinosaurs, you add that many for 2 mana to activate that ability. First dinosaur, Conjali Sunwing. Again, it's a bit glary because it's white. Probably not going to be able to read it. Really? Alexa, stop. Can't believe that ad just decided to start running there. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped for 2 colorless, 1 white. The thing I've realized with this deck is having dinosaurs in here that are affecting the board as soon as they enter the battlefield. Having dinosaurs in here that are extremely powerful by themselves. They do a bunch by themselves. They have acceptable alternative casting costs, because not always are you going to be able to successfully protect and cast Gishath without him dying. So having things like Kajali's for 3 mana, that is a really good card. The One Ring. This is just included in pretty much every commander deck. It is so good. Indestructible. Protection from everything. You can kill yourself with this too. Tap it. Put a burning counter on it. Take a damage for each burning counter on it at the beginning of your upkeep. But you draw a card when you tap it for each burning counter it has. And that could just be really powerful. You got to be careful with this too. Same thing with the Sylvan Library that I was showing you earlier with the damage thing. And we'll get into the draw thing here soon. We're going to start going through this a little bit faster. Arid Mesa. Also, again, if you're tuning in and you don't know much about Magic, I recommend looking at my other decks. I'm going to go into more detail about at least Magic itself in those other videos. This is a simple going through, showing Gishath. This is the updated list. I'm going to try to post it on Moxfield. I think I tried to before and it never worked out, but I'm going to try to do that again. So we're just going to try to fly through this so the video is not too long. So we have Arid Mesa, fetch land, search for a white or a mountain or a plains. Pantlaza Sunfavored, instant value engine. When it enters, you get a free spell immediately. It's just really powerful, and it's an alternative way. If Gishath is dead and you have it in your hand, it's very castable for 5 mana. Aura Shards. In high CEDH or high-powered games. This card's amazing because you can blow up all the good artifacts and enchantments, and in high-powered, artifacts and enchantments can be extremely powerful. For example, Aura Shards itself, and for example, Rhystic Study, Smothering Tithe. Aganosaur Rex. 5 mana, so super castable. It also has a cycling in your hand. It's a trample and it's an 8/8. So it's everything you possibly could want in a dinosaur for Gishath. Starhorn Nemesis, another perfect example of what you want for a dinosaur in Gishath. You have a 4 mana, 2/4 when it enters. Choose a player, so you would only be able to choose one. Any source that would deal damage, and this is this goes for everyone. If anyone attacks, then it doubles. So if Gishath hits, if they hit, if I deal lightning bolt, whatever it is, they're taking double damage, and so are their permanents. Esper Sentinel, 1 mana, early game card draw and card advantage. It's just extremely powerful. Again, I'm not going to go into depth of what these cards do. This is just going to be my list. I'm not going to explain why I have so many things in here, but you can build the deck on Moxfield and run it for free. Do a couple play tests, and you can see for yourself why it's so powerful and why I built it the way I did. I might make another video on explaining it, but we have Smothering Tithe. It's just fantastic. Early game ramp. We have Wrathful Raptors. This is an infinite combo with Polyraptor and Marauding Raptor. You can instantly kill everyone, and that I'll go into a couple cards later with that. We have Cavern of Souls. Make your Gishath uncounterable. Boulderloft Pathway, it flips into a forest, so it's just a really good land. Quartzwood Crasher can win the game by itself. Castable casting cost of 5, and it's a 6/6 with trample that has an ability. Fantastic. Delighted Halfling, make Gishath uncounterable. I mean, what else could you ask for? Brushland, Adaigia Windswept Heath, or Windswept Bastion. Create a copy of an artifact or enchantment, and I'll explain a couple of the cards that you would want to activate your Adaigia with. And hitting Gishath, you can instantly get past Summoning Sickness and tap and station this and the other station land I have in here. Trumpeting Carnosaur, a little bit on the higher end for 6 mana, but if you hit it off of Gishath, it's a 7/6, it has trample, and you get a free spell, which is Discover 5. And if it's in your hand, you can discard it and deal 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker for 3 mana, so it's also an in-hand spell, which is perfect. Sylvan Scrying, search your library for Cavern of Souls, Ancient Tomb, things like that. Awakening Sun's Avatar, this is a controversial pick for Gishath, but I think if you hit him off of Gishath, you have a free 7/7, and if you get to cast it from your hand, you have a one-sided board wipe, and you pretty much win the game every time. Beast Within, destroy anything, unless it is indestructible. Nature's Lore, search library for a forest. I mean, you're searching for your shock lands most of the time with that, or your surveil lands. Mirari's Wake, double your lands, or double your mana, and it gives a +1/+1 to your creatures, so more Gishath triggers. Sylvan Tutor, these are amazing for Gishath. You get it for 1 mana, search your library for any card, for a creature card, and put it on top, which is even better in this deck because you can search for your best dinosaur and hit it off of Gishath. Or if it's early game, you can search for Treasonous Ogre, Birds of Paradise, Esper Sentinel, things like that to escalate your game faster. Congregation of Dawn is a sleeper for Gishath. Search for your 3 best dinosaurs, and in this case, you could search for your infinite and win the game immediately. Temple Garden, Generous Gift, same as Beast Within, destroy something on the field. Ancient Tomb, just extremely powerful land there. Tap it, add 2, do 2 damage to yourself. Urza's Incubator for 3. Choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size. Didn't run it before in my other deck lists because I didn't realize card draw, when you get to a certain power in Commander, card draw just becomes absolutely extremely powerful. And being able to utilize the One Ring and Sylvan Tutor or Sylvan Library for the best of their ability, you can just keep all the cards in your hand. Zakama Primal Calamity is just Zakama Primal Calamity. It's a dinosaur deck. It's Gishath. You're running Zakama. Wooded Foothills, just another fetch land. Teferi's Protection, some of the best board protection in the entire game. Command Tower, just a normal Command Tower. Scroll Rack. This card is absolutely busted in this deck. Cycling your dinosaurs from your hand on top of your library, and you can just continuously do that. If you pair it with something like the One Ring or Sylvan Library, it just becomes more broken. It's just extremely powerful. It's so powerful, and even early game and in late game, that card is fantastic for this deck. We have Marauding Raptor, which is part of the Infinite. You basically create, I'm not going to explain the Infinite in too depth, but you have Polyraptor and Marauding Raptor, which is the minimum you need for the Infinite. You basically make infinite Polyraptors, and yeah, that's it. If you have Wrathful Raptors, it says whenever a dinosaur you control gets dealt damage, you deal that much damage to any target. You deal infinite damage to your Polyraptors and deal infinite damage to everyone on the board and win instantly. Grove of the Burnwillows, one of my favorite lands, just because it's so cool. We have Creed Crown Pathway, just another one that can also enter as a forest. Legion Leadership works as one of my land slots, but it's just fantastic because it's basically a land slot that you can double target creature's power and it gains first strike until end of turn as an instant, so perfect synergy with Gishath being able to double his power. Heroic Intervention, board protection. That's all you got to see with that. Didn't run Earthshaker before because getting that card draw, you had no way of putting the cards back on top, so it almost was a hindrance. Because, yeah, it may be getting some good spells in your hand, but you really want to utilize hitting Gelf Gishath. But now that I have these powerful cards that can cycle my hand and do those things, having Earthshaker, being able to enter as a trample 6/6 and have a bunch of card advantage is really powerful. Flawless Maneuver. If you have your commander, free and indestructible for all your creatures. It's beautiful. Chrome Mox. If you are playing Magic and you don't know what Chrome Mox is, I don't know what to tell you. Look it up. Ravenous Tyrannus. This is one of the best dinosaurs in here. Not, again, still on the higher end, 4, 5, 6 mana to cast it. This card is a bit hard to explain. Not going to go into too much detail here, but it enters, devour 3. You get to sacrifice or eat as many creatures as you want when this enters, and you get 3+1 counters on it for each one that you've eaten. Whenever Ravenous Tyrannus attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 other target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. This card can just win you the game. Very amazing. And if you have things like Roaming Throne, that's amazing. Which I think I will be adding. This is an honorable mention here, but Annie Joins Up, I think, is going to be added back into here. The problem is it wouldn't affect this because it's not legendary. Annie Joins Up says only legendary creatures. So maybe having Annie Joins Up as a sideboard isn't a bad thing. This is probably the best card in the deck. Treasonous Ogre. With this card, you can actually, in a magical fairy tale land, if everything's right and you have the perfect hand, you can actually have a turn 1 win in Gishath. I'm not going to tell you the turn 1 win. Secrets for me. If you look through the deck list, you can find out. Pay through life, add 1 red to your mana pool. That is really good. Pretty much if you play that, you either cast Gishath that turn, or it's a guaranteed Gishath next turn if the opponents don't do anything about it. Arcane Signet. We have a Mountain. Avendo Awakening Suns, or Waking Haven. I don't know why I said Wakening Suns. It's a pseudo Gaia's Cradle, basically, and it gets around Summoning Sickness, so you can instantly tap your creatures to give it its station. Birds of Paradise. Really good creature there. We have a Surveil Land. Surveil Lands are amazing, and even better in Gishath because you can deck thin the top of your library. If it's not a dinosaur, you put it in the graveyard, you have a bigger chance of hitting a dinosaur. Zetopal Primal Dawn is just a really good dinosaur. It hits the battlefield. That is a really powerful creature to deal with, and people usually can't. Apex Altasar is another creature. If it hits the battlefield, it is devastating for everyone. You enrage it when it enters, and then fight everyone's creatures, and yeah, that's really good too. Firelit Thicket, really good. What's the word? Really good. I can't think of the word. What does Chromatic Lantern do? Mana fixing. Really good mana fixing on Firelit Thicket. You have a Plains here. Path to Exile. Just spot removal. It's exiling for 1. Polyraptor. This is the card I mentioned earlier. With the Infinite. Collective Inferno. This is from the new Lorwyn. Shadow Lorwyn was amazing. But this card's amazing because you can not only convoke it, but with Treasonous Ogre combo, it's just really good, and it doubles all your dinosaurs creatures, or all your dinosaurs damage. Really powerful. Eladomri's Call. This is the only card in here. Again, it's just a tutor. It's extremely powerful. You can search for Treasonous Ogre and put it into your hand. There's not much more else to say about Eladomri's. Atali Primal Conqueror. Again, you're kind of seeing a rhythm here. All these dinosaurs can either win the game by themselves, and if you hit them, they're extremely, extremely good. I don't want a dinosaur that's hitting and it's just a 7/7 or whatever. The only one I have in here, which can be considered that, is the dinosaur that can be a one-sided board wipe if cast from your hand. Yes, Sakama also has that cast from hand thing, but it is a complete and utter powerhouse. Not only is it a 9 with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample, but you have all those abilities on him. He's super powerful. Atali, with Roaming Throne and other cards like that, it just can get out of hand so fast and pretty much makes people scoop the game. And if you transform them, you have a one shot if you have Rogue's Passage on the battlefield. Xenagos, God of Revels, double Gishath's power and toughness until at the beginning of combat, so it's just really good. Galta, you can cast it for 2, but pretty much it's just a 12/12 with trample that you can cast for 2. It's another really good thing for Gishath. This is a card I added. Final Fortune, instant. Take another turn after this one. At the end of this turn, you lose the game. This card doesn't seem very good, right? But for 2 mana, 2 red, you can take an extra turn. I cannot tell you how many times, if I had 1 extra turn, because 9 out of 10 times, you were able to get through with Gishath, you get all those triggers, but you don't have additional combats. And 9 times out of 10, you don't want aggravated assault on the battlefield. It's not in here, by the way, because of this reason. You have to pump 5 mana into aggravated for it to activate. Or maybe I think it's 5. But either way, you're not going to have the mana 9 times out of 10. So relying on 1 card doesn't seem very good, and being able to take an extra turn after hitting with Gishath, you're pretty much just going to win the game every time. So specifically in this deck too, getting all those combos and things. Chroma's Will, that just kind of wins you the game, and it's also board protection. Carpelson Forest, Plains, 3 visits, same as Nature's Lore, search your library for either Surveil Land or Shock Land. Roaming Throne, one of the best cards in here. I think it's spiked to like $60. I pulled it from a pack a long time ago. That card is amazing in pretty much every tribal deck that has triggered abilities. It's just fantastic. If Gishath is for 7, you get 14 triggers, so on and so forth. It gets double triggers for Gishath. It's just fantastic. And it's also not just for Gishath, it's for all dinosaurs. You get double for Vaultborn, you get double for all of it, except for Zakama, because I don't think it says activated. It's only triggered abilities. So even a Tali Primal Conqueror would trigger twice if it entered the battlefield and you had roaming on the battlefield. Extremely powerful. Kogla Nidaro. You can discard it from your hand and destroy things. You can enter it and have it fight. Everything about this card is perfect for Gishath. Wooded Bastion. There's another card that's just good for mana fixing. Fiery Emancipation. I didn't run this card for so long because it's high casting cost and the 3 red. But now that I utilize Treasonous Ogre so much in this deck, Fire Emancipation is broken. Being able to just dump your life into it and then hit triple strike with Gishath, especially if you have roaming on the battlefield, there are some ridiculous combos. I've gone through my deck 4 times before, which obviously at some point is meaningless because you just get every dinosaur in your whole deck on the battlefield. Yes, I have done that. And you just gain like a bajillion life because of Verdant Suns, and it's just a whole thing. You can go through this video a couple times and put the deck list down, and you can go from there, but this is really nice. Vaultborn Tyrant. Card draw. Life gain. Comes back when it dies. Trample 6/6. Not the best casting cost for 7, but the whole point of this deck is to getting to 8 mana anyway, but really, you don't ever want to hard cast anything more than 5 mana in here. That card's amazing. Just gives you everything you would ever want. The Skull Spore Nexus gives you a big creature if someone board wipes you, and doubles Gishath's power and hazard cost reduction. Perfect for Gishath. Sunfur Limitator, castable dinosaur, and well, guess what? You can turn it into a Gishath, and it disregards the legend rule, so you're swinging with 2 Gishaths now, so that's broken. Verdant Sun's Avatar, 7 mana. The only thing I can say about that card is I have gained more than 100 life on more than 10 occasions. I've gained more than 100 life in a single game with this card. Verdant Suns is broken. Castle Garenbridge. This land is slept on for 2 colors, 2 green, add 6 green. That card has helped me cast Gishath so much faster. It is such a sleeper card. That card is so powerful. All you need is a red and a white, and you cast Gishath for 4 mana. So good. So you would need 6 mana on the battlefield. So you'd have 2 green and 2 of any, and then you'd have your white and red. Put 4 into it. That could be 2 turns beforehand. You're casting Gishath. That is a huge, huge difference. Every turn matters for casting Gishath as fast as possible. Deflecting Swat. Free, get screwed, basically. Like, you're going to target Gishath. You're not allowed to target Gishath. So many uses with deflecting swats, very powerful. Elegant Parlor, another Surveil land. I've explained why Surveil lands are good. Windswept Teeth, another fetch land. And I'm weird, I don't like running the fetch lands that aren't in my colors. And yes, I know lands don't have color identity. It's just the way I like to play. Yes, it would probably be better if I ran all the fetch lands, but I like what I like, and I like running only the colors I have. Even if the colors don't exist on the land, they feel like they do to me, so I only run the colors I have. We have a Stomping Ground, just a shock land. There you go. Normal Forest, land tax, early game. It's fantastic. Never missing a land drop again in your life. Swords to Plowshares. Spot removal. What do you do? Enlightened Tutor. You can search for Roaming Throne. You can search for Xenogo Scott of Revels. You can search for Mirari's Wake early game if you don't have enough mana yet. You can search for, let me think, Chrome Mox even if you really wanted to. I mean, you can search for any artifact and any enchantment and put it on top. So, quite a lot of things you can search for in here. There's quite a few artifacts. Shoot, you can even search for Soul Ring if you really wanted to, or the Great Hinge. Secret Tunnel. Utility lands are so broken. Lands are so broken in Commander. I can't stress it enough. This and Rogue's Passage has won me more games than I can count making Gishath unblockable. Whisper Silk Cloak, it just doesn't work as good. Other cards that give them unblockable, I promise you they just don't work as good. They're not as fluent. These are lands, so you can use them as lands, and they are used when you need them most, and you have them. It's just really good, and you can also search for rogues in Secret Tunnel with Sylvan Scrying, which is why it's in here. Angel's Grace. This card works. This card I run simply because it can stop you from losing the game with my Final Fortune. On top of that, if you're going to lose the game, it has split second, so no one can also interact with this card, so you just don't lose the game. It's just simple as that. And it kind of works like the Final Fortune. You get one extra turn for 1 mana. Seems really good. I think if you maybe took that out for Annie Joins Up or something, I wouldn't be mad at you, but that's why I think you should also have a sideboard for your best deck. This is the only deck I have a sideboard for. But like, if you want to run Carpet of Flowers instead of this, if you're playing against blue, then I think that's fine, but I think this can also be in certain situations utilized, and it can be extremely powerful. Other than that, it's more or less situational. Soul Ring. Soul Ring. Lotus Petal. Some people wouldn't run this, but I'd say even run it anyway, because this could be 1 turn faster for Gishath. And in this case, without this, I don't have a turn 1 win. Yes, I haven't gotten it off yet, but without it, it doesn't exist. And also, like I said, this card has gotten me 1 turn faster to Gishath so many different times, and that 1 turn can make a huge difference in this deck. 8 mana is a lot. Regal Behemoth, 6 mana. Still, again, getting to that higher edge, but has card draw. It's a trample 5/5 and doubles your mana when you're the Monarch. It's just beautiful. Temple Altasar. Your dinosaurs can only take 1 now, and it's also decently castable for 5, so beautiful. Beautiful Temple Altasar. Yes, this is also a deck I have a lot of snazzy, like, good-looking cards, but I've been working on it for so long, so over time, you're just going to start getting those better arts. Worldly Tutor. Same as Sylvan Scrying, except it's an instant, so you get it's just a tutor for a creature. You can utilize it however much you want. Rogue's Passage. Told you about that already. Hunting Velociraptor is by far the best dinosaur in here for early game. I can't tell you how many times I've been able to get through with this early and cast Gishath in the next turn. Do pretty good. Now, the only problem with this is if you hit Hunting, your opponents are already preparing for Gishath because they know it's probably going to come, especially if you have a 4-man. You're most likely going to be able to get in with Hunting. So just be prepared that your opponents are going to be prepared for Gishath. Sacred Foundry, another shock land. Galta Stampede Tyrant. I mean, everything about this card is amazing. The only big problem in this deck, even beforehand, not as much now because I have the good cycling cards and stuff. Having dinosaurs in your hand. You don't want dinosaurs in your hand in this deck. You just don't. The only one you want in your hand is that one-sided board wipe dinosaur. Other than that, you pretty much just don't want them in your hand. This just says when it enters, put any number of creatures onto the battlefield. So it's just fantastic. You hit it off a Gishath, still works. And guess what? If someone kills your commander and you don't have enough mana, well, if your hand is stacked, you can play this for 8 because it's the same casting cost, and then all of a sudden you have a instant board state anyway, so it's a pretty good fallback if you have it in your hand as well. Hexing Squelcher, another card from Lorwyn. Everything about this card is fantastic for non-black and blue players. This spell can be countered. All your things have Ward 2, and your spells can be countered. So the biggest problem in this deck is having Gishath being countered, and that just makes it beautiful. And yeah, there's not much else to say about that. It's just fantastic. Hexing Squelcher. That card's really good in high power. I also think it's really good in low power. This card's just, in my opinion, even a commander staple in red. It's fantastic. And then to end it off, we have the Great Hinge. I hate how you really can't see the card, but I mainly just said every card in here. So the Great Hinge is fantastic too. Again, works with Gishath so well. Has an alternative casting cost. Gets you life, gets you mana, gets you card draw, and buffs Gishath. What else more could you ask for? So yeah, that's my updated Gishath deck. Honestly, if you want to see a video of maybe me playing a game of Magic, I can do that. Just let me know in the comments. Other than that, I think the deck list right now is sitting around $1,600. Or maybe it's closer to $1,700. I'm not exactly sure, but it has been years and years, literally since I started playing this game. I started with Standard, started playing Commander, and this was my first deck, and it just got better and better and better and better. Upped my collection, traded cards in for cards. I think the only cards in here that I actually spent just cash on were Chrome Mox and Ancient Tomb. Everything else I pretty much either got from friends, traded, or traded in, and that's the beauty of Magic is over time you can build a deck that's really good, and it doesn't really require that much money. You just kind of save for it. It's a hobby, it's a fun hobby, and I love playing with my friends. So yeah, it's awesome. I recommend playing Gishath, and I also recommend, if you want the best Gishath deck, to run this deck. And if you have any cards that I missed or you know of, you let me know, because I've been working on this deck and I've searched the web hundreds of times trying to find cards to run in this and to make it as best and as fluent and as fluid and as consistent as possible. And doing it with Gishath is not easy. You have to play super well, do the combos right, remember triggers. It's just a lot, especially since everyone at the table wants you dead if you're playing Gishath, especially if you're playing with me, because you probably are in my play group, in which case you know what this deck can do. And that's a good thing, because I finally got Gishath to the point of almost unstoppable. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope I help some people out with their Gishath journey, but that's what I'm talking about. Gishath Sun's Avatar. I will see you later.